you're somebody who thinks that these F1 systems are terrible, drive a Scuderia. Growing up as a petrol head, I always believed if you wanted a 90s or a noughties Ferrari, it had to have 3 pedals because the F1 systems are rubbish. And I believed this right up until I drove an MC Shift Maserati Gran Turismo. And I loved that so much. I ended up buying a Maserati Gran Sport and then using it as my daily with my children for over 8 months. And despite its flaws, I actually grew to love that Cambrio Corsa automated manual. But today, I'm getting the rare opportunity to drive arguably the finest revision of Ferrari's single clutch F1 system in this, the Ferrari 430 Scuderia. So hop into the passenger seat and let me show you why the Scud's gearbox is a huge part of what makes this such a special driver's car. Come on, my name's Ben, and welcome to Dadcars. And obviously on this channel, normally I drive exciting cars with my children as well, but I haven't bought any of them today, and that is because of these 4-point harnesses. But interestingly, you can switch off the passenger side airbag. So if your 430 or 430 Scuderia had a conventional seatbelt, then you should be able to put a rear-facing child seat in the front. Oh, and for those worried about practicality and, oh, you couldn't fit a pram in that, well, yes, you can fit a pram in this. I know that because last year, when I was filming up with James, I actually left one of my buggies up here, and then James kindly bought it to Petrolheadonism Live.
And I'm proud to announce this year the introduction of the Dadcars Family Zone. If you're quick and use this code, you can save 15% off your tickets. The link is in the description.
Okay, so key in, engine start. Oh. And it is instantly apparent that the only sound deafening that you have in this car really is carbon fibre and Alcantara. It's got the exact same handbrake that my Maserati Gran Sport had. This just instantly feels incredibly special. Oh, it really does. I used to own a Lotus Elise. It was an S2 supercharged one. Oh, in terms of feel of the road, I'm getting Lotus Elise levels of feel from this car. Connection to the road, God. So the 430 Scuderia has a 4.3 litre naturally aspirated V8, and that core base engine is the same base engine that Ferrari also used at the time in the Maseratis. It's got a flat plane crank in here, whereas it was cross plane crank in the Maserati. But in this car, it produces 503 horsepower, which is a hell of a lot more than what you got in the Gran Sport. And obviously, we've got to wait for things to warm up before I can feel all of that extra power. This is a car that kind of feels like it shrinks around you. You can place it really well because of the shapes there on the bonnet. It's 4.5 meters long, 1.92 meters wide. So yeah, real nice, comfortable dimensions when you're talking about supercars. Weight-wise, this is 1,349 kilograms, which is 100 kilograms lighter than a standard 430. And this magnificent engine is paired with this F1 Superfast II system, robotized manual. And having my Maserati Gran Sport, which had a very similar gearbox to this, admittedly a hell of a lot slower. I mean, the gear changes in this, I believe, are 60 milliseconds. And James told me earlier on that the Formula One cars of the time were 40 milliseconds. So yeah, straight away I can tell, even not driving this particularly fast, just how much quicker those gear changes are. And we've got the F1S there now showing up on the dash, which is the car telling me that this car is primed and ready and warmed up, ready to be driven as it was designed to be. But I'm still going to give it another minute because we've got some cars in front of us. And when you are driving it around slower like this, it's really easy to just ever so slightly lift off as you change and just smooth those gear changes out. God, the brakes are fantastic. Absolutely incredible. Well, you'd expect it with this weighing not that much and it having the carbon ceramics. And for those of you who are wondering how much this car's worth, well, James paid £183,000 for this. The throttle pedal has a perfect amount of resistance to it, so it's so delightful to modulate. Right, we're going to test actually some of the manoeuvrability now as we go into the town centre. What we'll do is we'll turn around get back onto national speed limit roads. We're all warmed up and ready. The steering wheel's not as girthy as the Grand Sport steering wheel. Similar shape and everything, but yeah, it just feels tighter and does feel a lot nicer in your hand. This is one of the benefits of me living with that Grand Sport for 8 months and driving it daily. I can imagine a lot of people, you know, complaining about this gearbox, but it's so true that once you get used to them, I love them. I think they're fantastic. Speaking of an Elise, there's an S2 behind us. Just gave him a thumbs up. Something else I learned about these gearboxes as well is that when you are creeping around town, because I mean I live in a very densely populated city, you just want to minimise the amount of time that you're engaging and re-engaging the clutch. Because obviously if you could be a bit more economical with that and cut the amount of times it's engaged in half, then you know you're also halving your clutch wear. I'm also thankful that the front end of this car isn't 100% carbon fibre. I think the bulk of it is composite and the carbon fibre section is a little bit higher up. Although, that said, I imagine even a composite front bumper on a Scuderia will be eye-wateringly expensive if you had to replace it. And just going over a couple of little drains there, what's quite surprising is obviously you can feel everything in this car, but the quality of the damping is really fantastic. Honestly, Ferrari damping is incredible. Right, national speed limit, second gear, let's do it. Oh my God! Oh my God! What is it? Just that right there. The first time I accelerated, I didn't even take it close to the red line. Jesus, right, let's do that again. Oh, the gear changes as well. Oh my God, this gearbox is amazing. Oh, you can't see it on camera, but oh, the feel that it gives you when you change gear. It's so lightning fast, but oh, the sound as well. Oh, this is absolutely sensational. God, Ferraris really are what dreams are made of, aren't they? And for somebody who's driven a Taycan Turbo S and launched it 0 to 60 several times, honestly, I know it's cliche to say now because everybody parrots it, but honestly, it's night and day. Even if this is only 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, which is incredibly fast. But yeah, honestly, even with a much faster electric car, there's just something about the full experience in a car like this. You can feel everything. You feel one with the car. This really is a car which, if you own, I can see can feel like sliding your hands in the glove and it becoming an extension of you. This steering again is just Ferrari magic. You know, it's light, super responsive and nimble, but just so confidence inducing. Oh God, I love these cars so much. Honestly, all the hairs on the back of my neck are standing rigid, right on end. Oh, oh my God. Oh, God, I'm absolutely speechless. I'm speechless. Oh, the downshifts as well. I've made a whole video before, which is a love letter to the robotised manual where I drive a 612 and the Grand Sport. Honest to God, if you're somebody who thinks that these F1 systems are terrible, drive a Scuderia and you will realise just how wrong you are. Oh God. This gearbox is the star of the show. Obviously, and the soundtrack as well. Oh, this is just such an exceptional car. This is a time when I'm glad I'm driving this and not the F12. I'm going down some tight country lanes and all the bushes are overgrown because of this time of year. Obviously a bit of rain and then sun the next day. I do not want to drag James's carbon fibre side skirts across a scratchy bush. Well, that was terrifying. The punch of that gear change when you're on it is just infectious. Oh. Oh. We're getting some rattles here as we're coming up to this corner. Confidence it gives you in the corners as well. Oh God. And this is another Ferrari where the ride setup, you know, the damping, it is just witchcraft. You know, almost more impressive in here than it is in like the F12 and FF, because you kind of expect a level of comfort with those, but you know, to get this much feel and feedback in, you know, a race-focused car with the degree of refinement and damping is just exceptional. And ironically, with Ferraris costing approximately £10,000 a year to service and maintain, £10,000 is how much I've got to spend on my entire next car. And I'm looking at like luxury barges, you know, like Jags, maybe even like a cheap Bentley. But driving this is making me think twice. Maybe I should go for something a bit more sporting, because throwing even a Bentley around roads like this, I won't be smiling like this, will I? And funnily enough, you can pick up a Maserati Grand Sport for 1/10 of the price of this. And if you're watching this and this is one of your dream cars, but you've got children, I cannot recommend you buying a Maserati Grand Sport enough. Honestly, it's nowhere near obviously as good as this, but it's not 1/10 of the experience. No way. Plus you can fit your whole family in a Grand Sport. But God, yeah, if you ever get the chance to experience one of these with your foot planted to the floor in second gear, going from second to third, that gear change is just something else. And finally, I want to say a massive thank you to James, not only for letting me drive 2 of his Ferraris now, but also all of the help and support and behind the scenes advice and mentorship that he's given me. Thank you so much, James. To anybody watching this, on the off chance if you don't already subscribe to and watch JM on Cars, I highly recommend you go over and subscribe now. I've been a fan for years, long before I started YouTube and before I met James. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Look, this is a automotive channel for parents. Ordinarily, I've got my children in the cars and we're trying to see if these sorts of cars can be used with children. So yeah, if you're a parent or a grandparent or you're soon to be a parent, please subscribe to the channel. Please check out one of my other videos and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.